correct me if I'm wrong, I went to the cinema to see a film set in a cinema with people working in a cinema. I mean, that's not what the movie's about, but that's some next level shit for me. Hello, my fellow YouTubers and subscribers, and welcome to my latest movie review, where today I review the latest film from Sam Mendes, Empire of Light. Do you know Sam Mendes is a, well, critically acclaimed filmmaker, I would say. Don't know if he's ever won an Oscar, but his films certainly surround the Academy whenever they are released. Obviously, he is most famous for directing two James Bond movies, Skyfall and Spectre. He also directed 1917 and American Beauty and Road to Perdition. So he's done a bit. So his latest offering, Empire of Light, the story is as follows. A drama about the power of human connection during turbulent times, set in an English coastal town in the early 1980s. So, Empire of Light. Well, I went to see this with a group of friends just now, and I gotta say, I don't think this is the best offering from Sam Mendes. Now, don't get me wrong, I think this is a good, decent, enjoyable slice of life movie. However, the film is made up of various elements. I don't think they completely come together, but there are some really amazing things about this movie. Olivia Colman gives one of the best performances of her career as Hilary, a woman who is suffering from schizophrenia, and the journey that she has to deal with in this film is incredibly emotional and incredibly compelling. She is definitely a worthy protagonist for this film, and her romance with Stephen, her young colleague, is actually quite believable. I quite like the chemistry, even though there's an age gap between the characters. Both of them do appear to be victims of circumstance, struggling with a terrible ordeal, and they come together. They find peace and comfort within each other. It's an unusual romance, but I like it, and I think it works well for the film. It's really the heart of the film. Michael Ward, who plays Stephen, he's also very good. He's very charming, plays a very nice guy, and his story is very interesting. There is a racist commentary as well, and he is at the very center of that because his character is, of course, black. The movie's not centered on the racism plot, but it is in the background as part of the world building, and it also establishes the struggle for Stephen's character. And you can both see how both these characters want to overcome their difficulties. And I think they make for a very good on-screen duo. And you root for them. You really do root for them as characters. And I really thought the personal drama of this film worked really effectively. Other supporting cast members like Colin Firth, who plays a sleazy cinema manager who actually has an affair with Hilary behind his wife's back. You know, he's all very much about power, control, doesn't really care about anyone but himself. Toby Jones plays Norman, who is a projectionist, and he's a good character, I guess. I mean, he doesn't do that much in the story other than, you know, do his job. But he provides to be the voice of reason for the characters. So he's quite morally stanced. They do try to go into some of his backstory, but it's not fully realised. And that's kind of where I think the film falters a bit, is that I feel like there's some great ideas, but I don't think they all come together very well. The film, to me, comes off as a slice of life kind of film, in which it's got a feel-good heart, and it's got a nice pleasantness about it, but nothing about the film has much subtext. I don't feel like there's much there in the script that binds these ideas together. Because when I saw the film advertised, I thought this was a film about the birth of cinema. I thought it was all the joys of seeing films in the cinema. But I was mistaken. It is more about the characters who work in the cinema. I mean, the fact that they work in the cinema is not really the most important thing. You think because the characters work in a cinema, that would become more of a centerpiece to the story, but it's really just a setting as to where these characters work. Like, I just don't know what the film's trying to say. Is it trying to be a commentary on the 1980s in terms of, you know, society, in terms of how, you know, like racism, you know, how people deal with mental health, and also like the entertainment industry? What's it trying to say? These ideas, they don't really come together. They're not bad ideas, but I just don't see how it's cohesive. It doesn't really connect all that much. And also with Colin Firth's character being the sort of sleazeball boss, there's so much of Hilary's story to me is about her trying to regain control of her life and, you know, avoiding the trappings of power from the male gender. There's so many times in this film where she references doing things like strangling men or being strangled by men, or, you know, being forced to do things by men against her will. So there's that kind of theme there, but the whole thing is kind of a hodgepodge, and it doesn't really go anywhere. The only sort of resolution of the film is that certain characters may get their happy ending and start anew. There's this poem at the end of the film, which is supposed to sum up, you know, people's journey and experiences and starting afresh, starting a new life. Sam Mendes likes his poems, if Skyfall is anything to go by. And there's actually, oddly enough, a reference to Tennyson in this film. But again, I just kind of sat there thinking, what does this all mean? You know, what does this all mean? What are they... Sam, what are you trying to say with this? I don't really get it. That being said, I was entertained by it. I had a great time, and I think the on-screen chemistry is really good. The performances are great. Again, if Olivia Colman is not nominated at least for an award, then there is something wrong. I believe that she is utterly fantastic in this role. The range of emotions that she has to display on screen, it's difficult. To play somebody with schizophrenia, that's hard. That's very, very hard. She pulled it off magnificently. She really did. And if anything, she is the reason to watch it. It's got Academy Award written all over it. You know, you can see that Sam Mendes tries to attract the best talent. But in all honesty, I feel like this movie needed a bit of a rewrite. I feel like the script had some really good ideas. It needed one more rewrite to really sort of flesh out the story and make all of these threads tie together. It just feels like it's a bit loosey-goosey, you know what I mean? I will say, though, the music score is good, and the movie is hard-hitting when it wants to be, and the movie is heartwarming when it wants to be, so there is a heart there, and there's a lot of emotion, and I think you will connect with the characters, so that's the plus. It's just the story itself is kind of built on so many layers that, again, they don't particularly connect or go anywhere. And Sam Mendes' direction is good. I don't think it's his most polished film, but it's nice, I guess. As well as Olivia Colman, what else stands out is the cinematography. This film looks beautiful. It is shot impeccably, and Roger Deakins, well, he's no stranger to the visual eye, is he? Let's be honest. I mean, he did the cinematography for Skyfall, you know, and 1917. This guy knows his stuff. And the way that they use light and colour, it looks beautiful. So, if there's anything to take away from the film, it's that. And it gives you an insight into cinema in the 1980s and how things may have changed or may not have changed in the cinema experiences. Particularly the prices of the snacks and the tickets. You'll notice that. That's changed dramatically. So overall, I enjoyed this film, but I don't think it's a masterpiece by any stretch. I had fun with it, and I thought it was very pleasant. And I thought the performances were amazing, rock solid. Again, the story needed a rewrite. It needed another rewrite of the script to really connect the ideas together for the ending to sell. Well, the ending makes sense narratively. Thematically, I was like, what does it all mean? It doesn't come together as well as it should. So I'm sorry, Sam, I hate to be sort of raining on your parade, but yeah, I just felt it could have been done slightly differently. That being said, I still love Sam Mendes as a director, and I will happily support all of his work. I must go back and watch some of his earlier films, because this guy is a really good filmmaker. He knows his stuff. And I'm not just saying that because I love Skyfall, 1917. You know, genuinely, he puts so much into his films. I know he tried hard with this, but I don't know whether it was the pandemic that affected it or what, but I don't know. This movie just didn't really sell to me all that much. But that being said, there is stuff to take away. It's not without merit, so I will give Empire of Light a decent rating of 7 out of 10. Also, one other criticism I had with the film is there was a bit of gratuitous sex in the film. There's really no need for it. I say gratuitous. It wasn't gratuitous so much as that more just the dialogue in the scenes were cringy, and the amount of times that they showed sex. It wasn't entirely necessary for me, and one of my friends who I saw it with covered his eyes the whole time when those scenes were on, so a little bit off-putting. Mainly Colin Firth's dialogue in those scenes are a bit cringy. I just didn't expect that from Sam Mendes. So that's my review of Empire of Light. I I wouldn't call it a disappointment. I just thought, well, okay, it was fine, but it could have been better. It's a shame that I didn't like it more, because I was really looking forward to it. But it's probably not going to end up on my list at the end of the year, sadly. So anyway, thank you all for watching this review. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Shout out to Nicholas Payne, who I saw the film with. And what did you think of the film? Please hit the like and subscribe button for more content like this. And stay tuned for more reviews in the future. So until next time, I'm Pajak's Perspective. See ya. Bye for now.